stuff. I need surprise. Dominic and I both have a teacher called J.S. Bach, and you play eight measures of Bach, and you're surprised every time, and then the next 8 bars, and the next 8 bars. So composition is really about surprise. It's not about theory for me, it's just an instinct that I have. The song you mentioned is also in 3/4 time.
Yeah.
I love 3. It's very old-fashioned. You can only do a waltz to it. It's not military, but there's something about a waltz that I'm a sucker for, 6/8 time, which I adore. And, you know, I just have fun with that stuff. I'm not here to belong to a genre or adapt myself to any kind of rules. I just do what I instinctively feel I want to do, and I'm lucky to have that opportunity and that privilege to do that. I'm also helped by some fantastic musicians who feel the same way, exploring the whole spectrum of music and not just saying we're in this ghetto here, you know, but they're not. They play everything: jazz, classical, pop, soul.
So the impetus for these ideas, though, when you're starting to write a song, historically, you would start with an instrumental demo. Tell me about the process of how you actually craft a melody and a song and a lyric.
You start with a little germ of an idea, a cadence. Your fingers might find something. So that's interesting. Let's take it a little further. Without that spark of interest, without that little building block, isn't the way to go, you know. So you have a guitar riff or something, but a guitar riff is not a song.
Right.
A guitar riff needs to be structured, and once I have a structure of a song, maybe a traditional structure, verse, chorus, bridge, key change, coda, that's the ideal for me, even though it's not terribly fashionable at the moment. The structure tells me a story. You know, some people listen to music and they see color.
Mm-hmm.
I see characters, I see situations. Somehow I hear lines that people say, or a refrain, but it's the music that's telling me the story, but it needs structure. A riff on its own won't do that.
So what will you typically do first if you're writing a song like Fortress Around Your Heart? That's a song that I talked about in my video about Why You're Incomparable. Now that song is very odd, actually.
Oh boy,
it's incredibly melodic, yet it changes keys 3 times just in the verse. You start in G minor to A flat major, and then you get on F sharp minor, which is very weird, yet it sounds completely normal to the ear. And then you go into the chorus, which is in G, E minor, D over F sharp, G, then C, A minor, C, D. How would you even come up with an idea like that? That song is so unique.
It starts with this 3 chords, and then I just go on an adventure with it, you know, and just find it. It writes itself, you know, and you just have to be open to it. You just have to be in a state of grace where the music will tell you where it goes next. You know, how do you know I'm supposed to go there? I just do. You know, I'm not a trained musician. I'm not a conservatory musician. I just have this trust that harmony will lead me in the right direction.
You're not a trained musician, but you played gigs as a jazz musician.
I held a job down, you know, reading charts in,
Yeah.
in a big band and in the theater. I could still do that if I had to. I need to brush up a little bit.
So you're somewhat of a trained musician.
Yeah, I just didn't go to a conservatory.
Right.
But I envy people who did. At the same time, it forces you to exercise a different kind of muscle. You know, I know some amazing musicians who can play just about anything, but don't write.
Right.
Know? So there's a different part of the brain which is used. So I'm happy where I am.
Are there any of your big songs that went unfinished for a long period of time?
No, I'll finish them, or I decide not to finish them. Lyrics are difficult. Dominic would say, "Where'd you get that lyric from?" I said, "I just walk in the garden and it's under a rock." And we wrote a song together. How many years? 30 years ago. "Shit with My Heart." Dom came in with this fantastic riff, beautiful cadence, sort of Bach like descending. bass line, and I said, okay, so we spent the morning, you know, structuring it, making it into a song. Here's a verse here and a verse there, and there's a key change there. So I just go for a walk, and I have it in my headphones, and I just walk around. A few hours later, I've got at least the concept of what the song is telling me, which is about a gambler. And Tom said, where'd you get this shit from? I said, I don't know. It just occurs to me, but the music tells me the story.
Dom, when you played that riff, that thing has been sampled by so many people and used for songs. What do you think about that?
Well, it's a huge compliment, I think. But I mean, the truth behind that one is that riff is that I just actually came up with that motif as an exercise for myself, just as.
Все животное, а себя не любишь. Ну, как бы дрожешь. Любишь. Да, пощади, Как-то надо продавать. Надо просто не смиряться, как может. Как ты будешь тренировать? Не смиряйся, да. Ну это так, это я чисто гипербола. Гипофиз. Гипофиз. Ну он тебе про себя говорит, да. 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 Как-то нормально не стало, да. Что еще посидел, кажется, я просто макароны ел. Съел, говорит. Запугивать это другое. Не берешь себя. Это разные вещи или нет? Я не понимаю. Есть еще реальность. Когда у тебя нету, и все. Представляешь? И все, да. И точка, как бы, да. Вот это вот. Ну, я так думаю, что не наработал просто и все. Ну да. На пародах просто. Да, да.